Hello scholars, good evening and welcome back to another live PEP class. Today we're going to be doing the ability test. Today being Tuesday, that is the day assigned for the PEP ability test. And the topic that we're going to be looking at today is the stem and leaf plot. If you've never done that before, well, you're going to learn how to do it today. You're going to learn what is the stem and leaf plot? How do we read it? How do we find, different things from it, like the mean, the mode, the median, and so on. So we're going to explore all about the stem and leaf plot. You are likely to see questions on the stem and leaf plot in the PEP ability test. So I'm going to go ahead now and invite my guests who are in studio with me, my scholars who will be helping me to interpret my stem and leaf plot. So welcome, Amari. Welcome, Madison. Welcome, Siobhan. And hopefully some other scholars can join us. Scholars, please turn your cameras on. Good afternoon, Amari. Turn your cameras on.
Good evening.
Good evening. Turn your camera on. Siobhan, Madison. All right. I'm going to share the screen also so that you can see the stem and leaf plot. All right. So that is the definition. All right. Okay, Amari, go ahead and read the definition for me.
Okay, miss. Stem and leaf plot. A stem and leaf plot is a diagram that shows numerical data information collected with the first digit or digits on the left, the stem and the last digits of the numbers on the right, the leaves. This avoids having to repeat the first digits.
Okay, Madison, you read for me as well. Madison, go ahead and read the definition for me, please.
Hello, Miss. Can you hear me?
Yes, I'm hearing you now. Good afternoon. Go ahead and read the definition.
A stem and leaf plot is a diagram that shows numerical data, information collected with the first digit or digits on the left, the stem, and the last digits of the numbers on the right, the leaves. This avoids having to repeat the first digits.
All right, so let me show you what that looks like. So it's saying the leaf is used in statistics, and statistics is a branch of that deals with information storage and information interpretation. So we collect information and it is called data, and then we see how best we can present that data so we can study it and make interpretations and make even predictions. So the stem and leaf is one way of presenting data. So this is an example of stem and leaf, and they call it the stem and leaf because the digits are the stem, the digits on the right are the leaves. Each leaf is connected to the stem. So rather than having to repeat the first digits of the numbers, we just write on the left, and then we are to combine that digit with all the digits on the right. So looking at that stem and leaf, the key, if you look at the key at the top right hand, it says wherever you see 1/1, it means 11. So that means we're to combine the stem with each of the leaves to get the actual numbers that they represent. So in the first row, where we have 1, we're combining the 1 with all the leaves. So to be 1 and 1, so that's 11.
Miss,
It's not 1.1. Oh, it's 1.1 it says? Okay, using decimal. I'm not seeing the point clearly. Okay. All right, so if it's 1.1, then we just turn and combine it with, so it will be 1.2, 1.3, and so on. Let me show you another example. And usually the key. All right, so looking at this one, for this stem and leaf, the stems start at 2, so there is no number in the or the single digit numbers. So we combine the 2 with the 0, so that's 20. So the first number is not 0, it's actually 20. We would combine it with the 2. In the second row, where we have the 3, so we would combine each of those digits with the 3. So it's 30, which is 30, and then we'd have 32 and 35. For the 4, we would have 41, 41 again, 43, 47, 48. For the 50s, 51, 53, 53, 54, 56, 57, 58, 58 again, and 59. And that is the pattern that we would follow. For the 9s, there's nothing in the 90s, so we just leave the 9 blank. So far, do you understand how man leave? Good night, Peter Gay. Welcome. Do you understand, scholars, how to read the stem and leaf, combining them, which is the first digit of the number, with the leaves, which is the second digit? Is that clear to you? You're not responding. Yes, no, maybe?
Yes, miss.
Almost. Amari?
Yes, miss.
Yes, no, maybe, almost. Okay, you're understanding. Siobhan, no. You're saying no, you don't get it. So let's go again. We combine each of the stem with the leaves to make the actual number. So don't look at the chart and say, and just focus on the numbers on the right and say, okay, there's 0, 0, 2, 5, 1, 1. Those aren't the actual numbers. We have to combine them first with the stems. So it's actually 2, 0, which is 20. And in the second row, it's actually 3, 0 first, that's 30. Then 3, 2, which is 32. Then 3, 5, which is 35, and so on. Hi, John, welcome.
Hi, miss.
So let's look at, so let's continue. All right, so you can use a stem and leaf plot to find the mean, median, mode, and range of a set of data. So when you're given the stem and leaf plot, you're going to be asked questions about it, and some of the questions that can come have to do with finding the mean or the average, finding the median, the mode, the range, and so on. Remember, I told you this comes under the topic of statistics, and these are statistical terms: mean, median, mode, range. So I'm going to just remind you, for those who already know, and for those who are not aware, I'm going to explain what we mean by these terms. So when you're asked to find the mean or the average, so the mean is the average of a set of data. And how we find the mean is we add all the numbers and divide that result, divide that answer by the amount of numbers. The mean is also called the average. So if there are 6 numbers, we would add up all the numbers and then divide the answer by 6. If there are 13 numbers, we'd add all the numbers and divide the answer by 13. That will give us the mean or the average. So now let's look at the median. So the middle number of a set of data, first we have to arrange the numbers in order of size, usually from least to greatest. If 2 numbers fall in the middle, which is if the set is an even set, we simply add those 2 numbers and divide the result by 2. Let me read that again. That's quite a mouthful. So the median is the middle number of a set of data. First, we have to arrange the numbers in order of size, usually from the least to the greatest. If 2 numbers fall in the middle, which is if the set is an even set, we simply add those 2 numbers and divide the result by 2. And we're going to be doing this as we look at some samples of the stem and leaf and interpret them. The mode is the number that occurs the most in a set of data. It has the highest frequency. There can be more than one mode or no mode at all for that data set. The mode is the number that occurs the most in a set of data. It has the highest frequency. There can be more than one mode or no mode at all. So if you're given a set of numbers, the mode is the number that you see more than the others. And the range is the difference between the largest and the smallest values. All we do is to subtract those values. So we just look to see what's the biggest number in the set, what's the smallest number in the set, and we subtract them. So for these, we're going to be doing 4 samples of the stem and leaf. For each one, we are to find the mean or the average, the median, the mode, and the range. We're going to find those for all 4. The mean, the median, the mode, and the range. So this is the first set, the first stem and leaf. Okay, and information. We're going to do it together as we go along. Come, Ajani. As we go along, Siobhan, to understand, because we're going to do 4 examples. For each one, we're going to find the mean, median, mode, and range. So you'll get it by the end. So here we have our first stem and leaf, and it shows distances that athletes run. All right. So remember how we said we're to read. So the numbers then would represent 0, 6, which is 6, 0, 1, which is 7, 9, 9. And then in the second row, we have 12, 13, 13, 15. And in the third row, we have 28, 28, and 9. Do you understand? Do you understand how to combine those numbers?
Yes, miss.
We're combining,
You understand?
okay, we're combining the stems, the leaves, right? We're combining the stems with the leaves. And so let me run it through again. The first row is 6, 7, 9, 9. The second row, because we're combining the 1 with each of those, so that's 12, 13, 13, 13, and 15. And the third row is 28, 28, and 29. And these are in meters. These are the distances that were run by several athletes. So let's go now. Let's find the mean of this data set. Remember, to find the mean, we add all the numbers and we divide amount of numbers. So counting the numbers, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 numbers. And we're going to add them up. So that's 6 plus 7 plus 9 plus 9 plus 12 plus 13 plus 13 plus 13 plus 15 plus 28 plus 28 plus 29. And we add those up, we get 182. So to find the mean, we divide that by the amount of numbers, which is 12. So we divide that by 12, and we get 15 and 1/6, or 15.166. So that is the mean. All right, so Siobhan is saying it's the first he's learning about the stem and leaf. All right, so this is great. So you might see questions on the stem and leaf in the ability test. So now you will be able. Madison is asking it and gets a decimal. So what we do is if we divide the whole number and then we want to change that decimal, put your decimal point and then just add a 0 to the remainder and keep dividing by your. So you keep dividing. If you get another remainder, add a 0 to that and keep dividing. All right, so Jordan is saying he's not understanding the stem and leaf, but this is our first example. So as we go along, see if it's becoming clearer to you. And Madison, you can check our channel for divisionals and what to do with the remainder to change it to a decimal. So the grade 5 playlist, you will see those videos. So then, to get the mean, the average, we add all the numbers and we divide by amount of numbers. And remember, looking at that stem, it's not 6 and 7, it's not 2 and 3 and 3 and 5 or 8 and 9. It's combine the number on the left, combining that digit, each of the digits on the right. The list that we're looking at, Jordan, is what's on the screen right now. Stem and leaf, with 2 numbers from the stem and leaf, and so of 12 numbers. To find the median, remember definition was the median is the middle number. So we put them, we make sure they're in order of size, and then we see which one falls in the middle. So it's just, so let's see, we'll have numbers fall in the middle, but in this, the 2 numbers that fall in the middle are the same, which is 13 and 13. So the median is 13. And for the mode is the most frequent number. And since there are 3 13s, that is the mode. With 2 9s, we have 2 28s, but there are 3 13s. That has the highest frequency is 13, that is the mode. And for the range, we are to start the smallest number from the biggest number. Are you hearing now, Siobhan? So the biggest number is 29, and the smallest number from this list is 6. So 29 minus 6 gives us 23, and that is the range. Are there questions about this sample of stem and leaf? Is everybody clear? All right, so we'll move on to the other example. It says submitted by students. All right, so pages of essays. So each student submitted, you know, some persons write lots and some persons write, you know, just a little. So, okay, great. So Jordan is saying, Miss, I understand now. And to me, that's the greatest thing I can say. Madison is saying she understands. Siobhan understands. Jordan and Amari understands as well. That's the best thing students to say, I understand. Okay, those just joining us, welcome. And remember to say good night. All right, so let's look at this one. Do you have a question, Amari? Your hands up? Or are you just stretching out some laziness? You just saying hi? Okay. So let's see now. So pages of essays submitted. Remember, we're going to read, we're going to combine the stem with the leaf. First row, the first would be, well, next week, somebody's asking how to make the stem and leaf. Next week, we are going to construct our own stem leaf plots from data that is given. So we're going to get the raw data, just the number. We're going to make a leaf plot, and you'll understand even when we do that. So make sure next Tuesday when we're doing our ability test again, you are up front and center and listening and participating. We're going to make our own stem and leaf. So in this one, so the numbers are 1, 1, 2, 2, 2, 2, 3, 4, 5. In the second row, which all these digits now with 1, that will be 10, 10, 11, 11, 11, 13, 13, and 14. The third row, there's nothing to combine with the teens. There's nothing in the 20s. And in the fourth row, we have 31 and 32. So remember, for each of them, we find the mean, median, mode, and range. So the mean or the average, remember, we're at numbers and divide the amount of numbers. If we count the numbers, we realize there are 19 of them. If we add the numbers, so adding the plus 1, plus 2, plus 2, plus 3, plus 4, plus 5, plus 10, plus 10, plus 11, plus 11, plus 11, plus 13, plus 13, plus 14, plus 31, 32, we are going to get 108. To find the mean or the average, we're going to divide that by the 19 since it's 19 numbers. So 178 divided by 19, we will get 9 and 7 over 19, or 9.368. That is our mean or average. For the median is the middle number. So we are to put the numbers in order. That's very important. So list them from the smallest to the biggest and then see which one falls in the middle. since it's 19 numbered set of numbers, so there will be one number in the middle, and that number is 10. So we have 9 and 9 on the other side. So Siobhan, is the median is 2. How did you come by that, Siobhan? The median is the middle number, and if we arrange them, we'll see that there are 9 to one side, 9 numbers to the side. Number 10 is in the middle, not 2 at all. The mode is the most frequent number. So there are 4 2s up there. The next one in line would be the 11. So there are 3 11s, but there are 4 2s. So 2 is the mode, and the range is to subtract the smallest number from the biggest number. The biggest number is 32. The smallest number is 1. The smallest number is 1. 32 minus 1. So the range is 31. You are correct, Siobhan. The range is 31. All right. So we're getting it. And I feel great to know that my scholars are understanding. That's the most beautiful thing a student can say to me. Miss, I understand. So the third stem and leaf, and this one shows ages of students at. So some students went to a Christmas concert, small concert. When we check, yes, to find range Jordan by using stem and leaf, we just look for the last number, which is the biggest. Usually, sometimes it's not in order, them in order, but usually the last number is the biggest and the first is the small. Not all the time, so you have to double check. Well, in this case, it is. So the smallest is 1 and the biggest is 32. So we get the range. DK, you are late. You're usually one of the first ones on. Better late than never. So, yeah. So when we count, find that there are 20 persons at the concert, 20 numbers on the leaf section, and their ages are, 2 of them were 4 years old, 3 of 9 years old, 4 of them were 11, 2 of them were 12, 4 of them were 13, were 20, and 3 of them were 21. So we had from baby go straight up to big students, right? Because you know you have students at basic, kindergarten, primary, prep, high school, college, they're all students. All right, so this was a big range of students. All right, so the mean, so we'd have to add all these numbers, all 4 plus 4 plus 9 plus 9 plus 9 plus 11 plus 11 plus 11 plus 11 plus 12 plus 12, 13 plus 13 plus 13 plus 13 plus 20 plus 20 plus 20 plus 21 plus 21. Nobody was in the 30-year-old category. Adding all of those, we get 258. And since there are 20 students, to find them, we divide the sum by the things. So it will be 258 divided by 20, and that gives us 12 and 18 over 20, or 12 and 9 over 10, 12.9. That is the mean or the average. The median of the numbers, so if we arrange the numbers, put them in a line, it's 20 of them, that's an even number. So we're going to end up with two numbers in the middle. And those are 11 and 13. 11 and, no, hold on. The two numbers in the middle would be 12 and 12. So the median is 12. Because there'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 on one on the other side, and two numbers in the middle, which are 12 and 12. Since it's the same two numbers in the middle, that's the median. So the 12, and the mode is the most frequent number. So tell me, what is the mode set? Which number is up there more than the others? Let me see some answers, or let me hear from my scholars in studio. Madison, what's the mode?
Miss, 11 and 13.
So I'm saying 11 and 13. Jer is saying 11. Dan is saying 11. On screen, you can actually, if your mic, once your mic working, you can actually say the answers.
11, Miss.
Okay, all right. Let's hear your beautiful voices. Or you prefer to type and tell me, but I prefer for you to speak. Or Jordan's mic isn't working. All right, so you are correct. Those who said 11 and 13. Right. So Madison prefers to speak and type. Okay, madam. So remember, when we're looking at the definitions, it said you can have more than one modes. It doesn't have to be one mode. Or you can have no mode at all. Maybe there's no number that's more than the others. And maybe there's more than one numbers that have the same frequency. So in this case, what is the frequency of the 13 and the 11? How often do we see them? Madison?
Miss, we see them both 4 times.
4 times, not about 4 times, exactly 4 times. You're correct, Jer. Jer is saying 4, 4, 4, miss. 4, miss. First one, Jer. I saw the first one. All right, so yes, so the frequency is 4. Each one is there 4 times. There are 4 11s and there are 4 13s. The range now, the biggest number is 1, and we're to subtract the smallest number, 4. 21 minus 4, the range is 17.
3.
All right, 17. Am I correct? Did I subtract properly?
Yes, miss.
Yes, Miss.
All right. Okay. Now let's look at the final stem and leaf. This one is going to be some additional questions. In addition to finding the mode, mean, median, and range, we're also going to have 4 extra questions about this stem and leaf. So this one shows time spent studying daily in minutes. All right, so time spent studying daily. So again, some students were interviewed and they were, how many minutes per day do you set aside for studying on your own? So this is different from when you're at school and have to do their schoolwork, right? The students were asked, when you're at home in your own free time, how many minutes each day do you set aside for studying? So these numbers are in minutes. So the first row DK, you're still not understanding? Okay, you came late, so that's why. But I won't chastise you because you're usually early. So, but now you understand the importance of being on time for class. You're saying, what's that about? That's the answer for what? 184.
Miss, that was a mistake. I thought you were asking a personal question.
Oh, okay. Jerry, you seem to be trigger happy tonight, you know. You're trigger happy tonight. All right, students, give me 1 second. In the meantime, I want you to work out the mean for me. All right, so persons are saying the mean is 10. Siobhan is saying the mean is 10 minutes. Any other response? What's the mean for this? Remember, the mean is average. This is the mean. Amari is saying 10. Well, how comes I didn't get 10? How everybody getting 10 and I didn't get? That's not fair. Explain to me how you got 10. Those who got 10 as the mean. Explain what's your process. Okay, DK, so you look over the video. That's great. All right. Those who said 10, let me know how you get 10. So are you just gonna put up answers on my screen and you're not explaining? All right, so let's go step by step. The numbers are combining the step with the number 8, 9, 10, 15, 15, 18, 20, 20, 20, 25, 30, 30, 30, 35, and 45. When we add those numbers, how much do we get? So that's 8 plus 9 plus 10 plus 15 plus 15 plus 18 plus 20 plus 20 plus 20 plus 25 plus 30 plus 30 plus 30 plus 30 plus 35 plus 40 plus 45. These numbers, it's a lot of them, but they're easy to add because many of them end with zeros. And it's easy to add that end with zeros, right? So what's the total we get? Any answers yet for the total? All right, it's a lot, so let me tell you. The sum, the total is 400. And then, how many numbers are there? There are 17 numbers. Addison, so how would we find the mean?
Miss, we would divide 400 by 17.
Yeah, so The total is 400 and there are 17 numbers. We would divide 400 by 17 and that gives us 23 and 9 over 17 or 23.52. So what's the median? The median is the middle number, but you have to first put it in order from smallest to biggest. So if we put it in order, which one would fall in the middle? It's 17 numbers, that's odd. That's an odd number. So we will have one number in the middle. That number will be number 20. If we put them in order from smallest to biggest, yeah, 20 will fall in the middle. So that is the median. And the mode now, which one is the most frequent number? Which one has the highest frequency out of all the numbers? Madison?
Miss 30.
That is correct. What is the frequency of 30? Siobhan is also saying 30. What's the frequency?
Miss 4 times.
4. So 4 is the frequency. That's correct. There are 4 30s. Okay, you're correct also. And what is the range?
42, Miss.
42. How did you get 42, Jer?
Miss 3 from 45.
Hold on. All right.
Miss.
Where's the 3 though? Hold on, Madison. Where's the 3, Jer?
Miss, isn't it a 3?
The first line.
No. Where do you see the 3? In the stem section?
Yes, Miss.
No. Where to focus on the leaf for the actual numbers. Combine the stem with each of the leaf to get the actual numbers. What do you say, Madison? I saw your hand up.
Miss, I said 37.
Yes, Miss, I agree with Madison.
How did you get?
Miss,
Okay, so John is agreeing. How did you get 37?
I took 8 from 45 and got 37.
Okay, and Siobhan also got 37. So the biggest number is 45, the smallest is 8, and the range is the difference between the biggest and smallest. So 45 minus 8 gives 37. Now remember, I told you there are 4 bonus questions. So let's see what those bonus questions are. Jer, can you read number 1, please?
Okay, Miss. From the stem and leaf plot above, what is the probability that a student spends half an hour studying?
All right. What is the probability that a student spends half an hour studying? Stem and leaf. That is. What is the probability that a student spends half an hour studying? How are we going to approach that question? Any ideas? What is probability? That also is a statistics term. When we think of the probability of something happening, what's that? Any ideas? All right, so the probability of something happening would be the chance of that thing over the total number of chances. So in this case, we had 17 different times. So the probability of a student studying exactly 30 minutes, we'd have to find how many 30 minutes were given and put that over the total 17 answers that were given. So how many students said that they studied for 30 minutes? Remember, we said the frequency of the 30 was 4. So 4 students studied for 30 minutes, and it's 17 students in all. So the probability is 4 over 17. The probability of a student studying for half an hour, 30 minutes, is 4 over 17. Amari, read question 2, please.
Okay, miss. From the stem and leaf plot above, number 1, what is the probability?
Number 2.
Number 2, what is the probability that students spend less than 30 minutes studying?
Okay, so that should be that a student. What is the probability that a student spends less than 30 minutes studying? All right, so back to the stem and leaf. What do you say now? What's the probability that a student less than 30 minutes studying? Based on what we did for the probability for 30. Madison?
Miss, 10 over 17.
How did you get that?
Miss, because under 30 there's 10, because there's 20, 20, 20, 25, 18, 15, 15, 10, then 9 and 8, and that will give you 10 numbers.
All right, so Madison is saying there are 10 numbers that are less, there are 10 times given that were less than 30. From the 8 minutes to the 25 minutes, there are 10 of them. So the probability is 10 over 17. That is correct. All right, Madison, please read question 3.
Question 3. What is the probability that a student spent from half an hour to 45 minutes studying?
Read it again, please.
Number 3. What is the probability that a student spent from half an hour to 45 minutes studying?
All right, so how do we approach this? From half an hour to 45 minutes. How do we approach this one? How many students said that they studied from half an hour to 45 minutes? So Madison saying 7 over 17. is the probability.
7/17, miss.
Any other answers? That's what Madison is saying. Do you have something else?
Miss, can you please repeat? Yeah, miss.
What is the probability that a student studied between from half to 45 minutes each day? Siobhan is saying 10/17. Madison is saying 7/17. Madison, explain how you got yours, and Siobhan, explain how you got yours.
Miss, so it says from 30 to 45 minutes. So there's 4 30s and 1 35, so that's 5 numbers. Then there's 40 minutes and 45 minutes, which is another 2 numbers, and 5 plus 2 is 7. So the probability will be 7/17.
All right, so there are 7 numbers from 30 minutes to 45 minutes, right? There are 7 numbers. So it's 7 over the total 17. Siobhan, why did you say 10/17? Siobhan? Are you still saying 10/17? All right, so it's actually 7/17. And the last one,
Yes, miss.
but why? Why are you saying 10, Siobhan? So we have 4 30 minutes, 1 35 minutes, 1 40 minutes, 1 45 minutes. So in all, that's 7. Let's look at the last one. The last question. John, can you read question 4, please?
It's my approach, and that is 0 out of
John?
17. It's my approach is 0 out of 17. That's the probability. It's because
John, read the question, please.
okay. Number 4.
Read the question, please.
Yes, miss. Number 4. What is the probability that a student spend a full hour studying?
Read it again.
Number 4. What is the probability that a student spend a full hour studying? Miss, my answer is 0 out of
Okay, and what do you say?
Miss 0 out of 17. Miss.
Why?
Miss, because
Why?
in the summer leave, Miss didn't have any 60 minutes, or anything about that, Miss. So Miss, it would be 0 out
Okay,
of 17.
all right. Okay. So a full hour would be 60 minutes, and there's no student who said that they studied for 60 minutes. So the probability of a student studying for a full hour is 0. Madison also got 0. There are no students who said that they studied for a full 1 hour. All right, so that's it for the STEM and Leave. It's a branch of statistics, and you are likely to get a stem and leaf plot to interpret, and to answer the questions. So you have to know how to read it. So the basic idea is to come stems, which are along to the left. As you can see in this diagram again, the stems are to the left and the leaves are to the right. You combine the digit on the left with each of the digits right. So just looking at these numbers on the right, you would be tempted to say, okay, that's 0, that's 2, that's 5, that's 1 and 3 and 7. No, those aren't the actual numbers. That's just the last part of the numbers. You have to combine the stem with each of those digits to get the actual number. So the first number in that set is 20. Okay, Alisa is saying, Miss, thank you. I definitely learned something new today. All right, so a lot of students are saying they did not know what the stem and leaf was. They had no clue. So now you know. And remember, I said to you, that's the best thing a student can say to me is, I understand. So I'm glad that you understand. Remember now, next week, we are going to make our own stem and leaf plots. We're going to use just the numbers that are given. We're going to organize them and make our own stem and leaf plots. And when we do that, we can go ahead and do just like what we did this evening to work out the median, the mean, the mode, and the range, as well as maybe some probabilities as well. All right, Amari is saying, Miss, I understand. That's awesome. Jordan is saying, Miss, I fully understand now. That is awesome. So I feel good. And John too. Yes, John.
Thank you, Miss.
All right. You are most welcome. I do this for you all. Without you, it would make no sense for me to sit here yapping away. So you make it make sense. All right, so thank you for joining me, scholars, those in studio and those in the chat, those watching on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and other media. Thank you for being with us. And remember, tomorrow is Wednesday. So again, we're going to have another performance task. You don't want to miss that class. So I'll see you same time tomorrow, the performance task. Have a good night.
You too, Miss.
Everyone.
Okay, remember to
You
say good night
Night, everyone.
in the
too.
chat.
Everyone.
Night, everyone.